Mexicans that are
But you gotta walk through Mexico.
they're fleeing their country. They're fleeing a war-torn country. They're coming in the right way because they're asking for asylum. They're asking for asylum. That is the right way.
That doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about an asylum seeker coming in trying to kill me.
Why do you lock your door at night?
Because I don't want to get my stuff stolen.
Exactly. In regards to
I don't think
that is hypocrisy. That is hypocrisy.
But when my
Where
friend
it's
comes
okay
to my
lock
door
your
and says
door
that
at
he
night.
wants to stay,
Exactly.
well,
It's
I
right
don't
here.
know.
Exactly.
Excuse me, can I
It's
say
right here.
something?
We have a responsibility to the international community.
It took 4 minutes for this to degenerate, and the group just came apart. Is this America?
No. Yes.
How many of you think this is America?
And you know why? Because
So
the man
both
is in
sides.
charge.
No, what's why is because you don't care about facts.
It has nothing to do with
It's happening right now. It's happening right now.
I think
care about emotions.
How about we act like adults and take turns instead of speaking over each other?
Horrific. It's not like nobody's going to die there if we don't do it.
We don't
They
live
want
there.
them
He
dead,
did that.
period.
He
It doesn't
didn't- you
matter
know
where
what?
our embassy
I
is.
feel like
They
Donald
will
Trump didn't
attack
do it for
them.
that reason. He doesn't like either
You know,
one of those
in parts of
He
Israel,
doesn't
they
like
have
them here.
playgrounds
He
in the
doesn't like
schools
them here.
underground
He doesn't
because
like
of
them
Hamas
here.
rocket
He did
attacks.
that to
They're
start a
constantly
conflict,
attacking
so they
them
can
with the
kill
rockets.
each other.
And you think an embassy?
Donald Trump did
that's the
nothing
only
to
thing
help
that
any-
infuriates
The
them?
embassy is a symbology.
Whoa.
How do you make peace
Why
when
are
somebody
we
wants to
involved?
kill
How
you?
do we-
You
we
can't make peace with somebody that all they want to do is kill you.
The reality
And that's what Hamas, they all they want to do is kill Israel and wipe Israel off the face of the earth.
Doug.
You cannot make peace with
reality
somebody
is
that
that
will kill you.
The reality
Gay men.
This does on America,
Our country is falling apart.
God said to stand with Israel.
Oh my
He did
God.
not stand
But hold on.
with Israel. That would be a problem.
But we did not
come tell you that? He didn't tell
In the Bible.
But if you have a Christian president, that's what he's going to do.
The reality.
Oh, really? It's not a
Who's a
Christian.
Christian? He's not a Christian. He's not a Christian.
He's not a Christian. Because a Christian would not call country shithole country. He's not a Christian.
Listen, the reality of the
He's not a Christian. He's not a Christian. I'm a Christian and I'm offended that you would lock us together.
Your children are going to watch this. You think they're going to be proud? You think the American people are going to look in and say this is constructive? This makes them feel. Then why are you doing it? Why are you yelling? Why are you yelling?
This is the way that America has become broken down.
Then be the change.
That's why we're doing it.
So?
And I'm trying to do it. I try to hold intelligent conversations.
I don't hear that. I hear you
yelling at
interrupting them.
everyone. You're raising your voice and talking over
Excuse me,
them.
I'm talking. Thank you.
So even that.
How is that being an adult?
I'm talking still. Yes, Frank, you're looking at me.
No, because I'm looking at both of you.
Okay.
Both of you are doing this. She's staring at you and wants to pick a fight with you. You want to pick a fight with
I just
her.
want to speak intelligently. That's all.
But there's a difference between intelligent conversation and simply yelling.
There, right there's the problem.
No, it's not.
Right there. Your attitude is the problem.
My attitude?
Yes.
I don't want somebody telling me that my schools have to have prayer. The schools have to have prayer in school.
I didn't say that.
They did not before.
All I said there will always be prayer in school. All I said was God chooses the color of our skin. That's all I said. Now, if you
I
don't
said,
believe
what
that,
if you don't
then
believe-
who's making the choices?
What if you don't believe in
Who's
God?
making the calls?
Don't believe in God. That's your choice. And we don't care.
Yes, you do, because you try and force it on everybody else.
No. You're making a lot of gross assumptions.
I'm not making gross assumptions.
You
I'm
are
looking
making
at
gross
Mike Pence.
assumptions.
I'm looking at Mike Pence, who signed anti-LGBT in Indiana.
So what?
I rest my case.
It all comes down to listening to what the other person has to say. Open up your ears and not your mouth and listen to what other people have to say, then weigh what's going on.
Then what do you
They're
think-
all liars. They
What do you
all
think-
lie.
Okay, then what do you think of the
Everybody says
President of
about
the
Trump
United
being
States?
aggressive and brutal and all this stuff.
But you support-
How condescending was Obama?
But
I
you-
couldn't stand to watch that guy. He just looked down on top of everybody. Trump will get down in the dirt and work with you.
So
Obama
you
would never
want
have done that.
respect. You want respect, but you have a president who takes on women, minorities, everything but white
And you know what?
males.
He won the
attacks.
election. And he won.
He didn't get
and
the
you guys
popular
can't
vote.
handle that.
He didn't
That's
get the popular
problem.
vote.
You can't handle
Did
it.
he get the popular vote?
It doesn't make any difference. The electoral college is put in place for that simple reason.
He won by the electoral, fair and square.
This isn't even about American politics. And you were talking over him the entire time. And you were talking over her the entire time. and you didn't listen to anything that he said, and he wasn't listening to anything that was going on over here, if your kids saw this, they would laugh at you. And they would tell you never, ever discipline them again. You did it. All of you did it. You feel good about it? Then why'd you do it?
We've been reduced to this by the passion that we feel for so many things. I mean, this country is falling apart.
The economic opportunity for blacks has increased dramatically. They're all over Hollywood. You can turn on the TV, every other commercial.
And how many people does that?
Let me get my point out.
I want to ask one
Let me
question.
get my point out. They're all over the sports. They're all over Hollywood.
But isn't this the problem?
They're getting into business. They're making inroads in every viable alternative out there.
I want to ask.
Black-owned sports
companies are
Hang on.
all I hear is you people and and then like, oh, black leaders need to all be apathetic, nice, talk about how society's
Instead
gonna
of
come
Reverend
together.
Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, or fiery guys.
But did you hear what he just said?
You don't even know if I like Reverend Sharpton. I think he's a jack-led preacher. I think he just shows up and makes an opportunity off of the plight of black people. So you don't even know how I feel about a certain leader. I think you just want apathetic black people so it's easier for you to push your agenda onto us.
Happened to them, call the cops, and they wait 15, 20, 30 years to do it.
Because they're afraid for their careers.
They made that conscious choice.
As a woman who's been sexually assaulted 3 times, I resent that. I resent that.
Correct.
I did not choose that.
Right.
I did not.
Did you call the cops?
I was 17.
Did you?
I was 20. I was
Did you go to the
21.
Why are we blaming victims instead of the offenders?
We allow the next person to be victimized, and the next one,
And that's my fault.
Stops it. I had to leave school because I was abused, and I almost got my ass kicked every single day. You know what I did? I just shut up and moved on.
You have to have self-confidence. You have to come from a good home. You have to have the ability to say no.
How about when I kept telling him no,
And
no,
you walk-
no, and he
and you-
still
and
he
you
still
walk
said
away.
that
And
it was.
you walk away.
What about being date raped?
How about when I'm laying there and he's holding me
Why
down
are
and
you
I'm
laying
saying
there?
no?
Why are you laying
Why
there?
is that
Are you
mine?
being serious?
Why is it against me for the fact that
You
he made
are-
the decision to hold me down and I'm saying no?
I told Ed that's exactly what we don't need, the way his attitude was to
The
reply.
people who voted for a guy who makes fun of disabled people are calling me rude.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, that's not a good answer. That's not a good answer.
I-
Let
what are
the
you, my
gentleman
professor?
speak, and then you can have your chance to speak and debate it.
There are
The
no
facts.
rules. There's no rules here, are there? Otherwise, I think someone would have put them in
Well,
place.
there's rules in life.
Right. We got one guy screaming his brain off.
It's just common decency.
I'm shocked that he's a conservative.
I've seen some animalistic behavior, yeah. Juvenile, I should say.
Do you want to take back the word animals?
I'll say juvenile.
See, that's what's wrong with it. You got her demonizing half the group.
Did I even say racist?
I don't know why he's racist.
Why
You have to ask him.
Why do black people hate
Because he sits up and he says, all those Mexicans are rapists and murderers.
He singled out one.
Okay, and then, yes, he did say that. Yes, he
He said they're
did.
sending
Can
the
I finish
worst
my,
among
I didn't
them.
say that. You're talking about, I'm talking about when he was running.
Yeah, I
Can
know. He
finish my
said
point?
they
And
send
I
the
get this
worst
on my phone
among
every
them.
day.
Some of them
Can I
are
finish?
rapists. Some
You're
of them are
asking
drug
me.
dealers and
You're-
murderers.
They ask me what I feel. Okay, I'm trying to.
No, he called MS-13 animals, not all immigrants. He called
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Please quote me correct.
And that's what, liberals defend
I
again.
said 45 just said
Yeah.
those people. I didn't
And they
say
are.
which people.
MS-13.
And now you're saying that I'm saying.
They are animals. They decapitate.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem. They're Homo sapien just like you.
But they're animals.
They're Homo sapien just like
Okay.
you. God created them Homo sapien. The way the things he said about women, the things that's happened, the fact that
Stop! She's talking!
I heard her. She just said something.
Stop it! She was actually going to answer your question. Your question.
And I started that when she said she didn't want to answer.
She was answering it.
After I had already started.
Okay.
What is wrong with you?
She had already said.
She was answering the question.
She told me I don't want to.
Shut up.
You shut up.
The way he's treating women.
But you guys are tearing each other apart. This is the most disrespectful group. John, this is the most disrespectful group that I have hosted since election eve when I did it for 60 Minutes. You are the worst.
We've got people tearing down monuments that have been there for 150 years, trying to change history.
They have not. That was the losers, that was the traitors, the Confederates. And it was about slavery. And you're gonna glorify, those came up, you know when those statues went up? They went up in the 60s to hold black people down. You don't know the history.
My family came here in 1896, got off the boat from Italy. One of the first things they did was buy an American flag with what little money they had. It had 45 freaking stars.
What's that got to do with Confederacy?
It's respect.
Those are the traitors.
It's respect
the
of
Confederates
country.
were the traitors.
We're not right
They
all the time. The
rebelled
government
against
isn't
our
right.
country.
But at the same time, you still have to have respect. And the lack of respect is why we've got a problem
For the
today.
Union, not the Confederates.
Teach the lessons from the past.
Right.
So we don't repeat it again.
Hopefully not, but we are.
It was a panic. It was on every magazine. It was all over every nightly TV report. Global cooling, global cooling. So now we hear global warming. We're like, what? Who are these scientists? Where did it come from? I mean, seriously, go back. No, excuse me. That's a false statistic. The head of climatology at MIT happens to disagree with you, and I think he's probably more qualified than you to speak on it.
98% of scientists
That's a false statistic. That's a false statistic, my man.
Cole?
You do realize that
when Nazis were marching with Charlottesville, they called them very nice.
You realize that the Republican Party were the ones that fought for the civil rights. Let's get the facts straight. I'm so sick and tired of people on the other side calling me a Klansman or that we're all racist. The Republican Party didn't start the KKK. Let's get that straight.
Any candidate that's been endorsed by Donald Trump or supported by Donald Trump in a Republican primary or in a general election has basically lost.
No, he has
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they have. Yeah, they have.
the man right there.
No, yeah, they have. Mark Gordon. Mark Gordon, Wyoming.
This is what I mean.
No, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, the Republicans think that he's the kiss of death, and the Democrats agree with that. And the Republican Party's losing its base that it usually used to.
I just want to say that
This is why he's going to win the next for the next 7 years because you're misinformed.
You just said he's misinformed.
He is about with the endorsement of Donald Trump. He's one.
Is that
except
proper
one.
language? Is that appropriate in a discussion among people you don't know to accuse
Yes and
him?
no. Because he is being misinformed. Because he's saying that he's lost everyone that he's endorsed, but he has not.
But the question is, did you not just insult him?
No, because we're having a discussion.
He just insulted me.
So it's okay.
I don't
I just
care.
said he's misinformed.
You don't mind.
For every one of them, there's 8 voters that we can convince.
If he's insulted by that.
For every one of them, there's 8 other doors we can knock on, and he probably won't show up to vote. They don't know when election day is.
Oh, 8 billion. That's what this country was based on. That's what this country was based on.
Yeah, but it's not like that anymore.
Guess what? Most people come into this country by flying in on a plane and staying here than they do crossing the Mexican border. So we're gonna stop planes from coming in the country now too?
And my grandparents immigrated from Poland, couldn't get through Ellis Island.
It's not the same.
Look, did I interrupt you? Did I interrupt you?
It's not the same.
It's typical. It's typical. Nobody wants to listen.
As the President of the United States, you should be the best of all of us. I mean, you sit there and look at like the John Kennedys, even, this might offend a few people, but Barack Obama spoke in full sentences. Barack Obama didn't assault women.
Jackie.
I don't think the people in this room are fit to tie the president's shoes. He's so successful. He has followed through on almost everything that he ran on.
My thing is, I don't care
Everything that he ran on, but Barack Obama seemed to be anti-American, going and doing everything he could for every Muslim. I am speaking. I did not ever interrupt you.
Yes, you did. But go ahead.
Unfortunately, Chicago, I mean, we have, and it's true, unless people acknowledge that, we have an unprecedented amount of violence.
I think the media has got to put the spotlight on the politicians. The politicians are the ones that can solve this problem. For instance, we do what Rudy did in New York and bring back stop and frisk.
Oh,
what the
Clearly a very popular approach, Jeff.
God damn.
New York murders went down 60% that all these kids, all these young African Americans are carrying guns. They're carrying guns.
What, bro? What?
Stop.
They're carrying guns.
It's because middle America, really the earth of this country, the people that really care and love this country, got out and voted for a change. That's what made the difference.
So the rest of us don't love this country. See, this is the kind of language that divides. Your implication that the rest of us don't
No,
love
I'm
this
just saying,
country
more people in the
is-
Midwest voted this time than have ever voted
I've
before.
given him
They went out and
respectfully the floor
voted.
since he interrupted me.
I feel like that can happen, but this is gonna piss some of y'all off. But white people need to be honest about the history of this country first. They need to acknowledge that black people still to this day get treated like shit on a worldwide level. It's not even just the United States. This is across the whole entire globe. And I think once that happens, then we can truly have a conversation, because there's a lot of, oh well, I'm not like that, I'm not like this. We're not talking about you. We're talking about the whole big picture.
Most of the murders in Chicago is black on black.
That's a lie.
Yes, so is the government giving it to give it to black gang members to kill other black gang members? Is that what the government's doing? Black gang members are killing black gang members?
Well,
Is that what they're doing?
hold on a
That's
second.
absolutely
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Most humans kill.
Black crime is the
Wait,
number
you
one
already got
thing
to
in
speak.
America.
Hold on, most
It's
people.
not police officers, it's
Most
black on
people
black
kill
crime.
people that are close to them. Black people aren't gonna get in the car, drive 45 minutes north, and go kill white folks. Like most people, white or black,
I'm
you're gonna
saying
kill the
in
person
the
that
inner
looks
city.
like you and lives close
In
to
the
you.
inner city, it's black on black crime. That's all I'm saying.
They talked about this in the 1960s, the 1940s. Why is it an issue now, apparently?
It's not police officers.
Hold on.
That's
Hold
what,
on.
That's what
Why?
Colin Kaepernick needs to protest more than anything else.
How did we get here?
It's black people killing their own.
You scared, man. You scared.
Not the police officers.
Listen.
Not the police
You
officers.
scared, bro.
Not the police officers.
We need to chill out for 1 second.
I'm sorry.
Because when an African American male is killed by another African American male and they know who killed that African American male, there are consequences. The issue is when an African American male is killed by a cop on camera, on video, on phone, and there are zero consequences. That's the difference. It's not
Consequences.
Wait.
A very small percentage is very appropriate. My grandfather, my father, and one of my sons are law enforcement, have been or were or are cops, and it's a constant thing. They have to be on guard at all times for.
Do you understand the fear that she expresses?
I certainly understand the fear, but it is such an overblown.
Says the white guy. No offense.
You know what?
What I mean?
That is
But-
offensive
but-
to me. That's the first time I've been offended enough.